Welcome, my beautiful Leos. Welcome to Purple Table Tarot. So nice to see you. So very happy for the month of May. This is your general reading for the month of May, Leo. And so I really hope that you enjoy it. And if it resonates, please know that this is a general reading for Leo. If it resonates, claim it completely. If it doesn't quite, then go on ahead and check your moon and rising. Or your sun, moon, and rising. You can also check your north node for your kind of your life's purpose. Moon is typical for the deeper emotions happening in a situation right now. And the rising is kind of like I don't know, I feel like the rising is like a truer reflection. It's just a deeper, more involved reflection sometimes of what you're going through, what's going on. But anyways, Leo, I welcome you to this monthly reading for May. Very exciting. I want to make sure I shuffle these so they're kind of all in the same thing. That won't do. Tripping. Okay. Yeah, this deck really wanted to speak to Leo tonight. So what messages do we have for Leo? What messages do we have for Leo? Fiery lions. Ooh. Fiery lions. Beautiful, courageous, outgoing, outstanding little attention whores. You'll know the more that you watch this channel that I like to tease, but it's all in fun. I hope I don't ever offend anyone, but you know, if you are offended, you can let me know in the comments and I will do my best to help you feel better. All right, but I imagine some of you Leos be like, I don't care. You can't touch this. You can't. There's nothing you can say. All right. Okay. Another little rainbow shuffle and then we will be on our way. So what messages do we have for Leo? What messages do we have for Leo tonight? All right. So there are some new ideas happening here. Maybe a new journey, a new cycle. So let's get into it, Leo. So you start off here with the Seven of Swords. Now, a lot of people associate the Seven of Swords with like a sneaky energy, but you know, I'm just learning so much more about it. Basically, the Seven of Swords, something that's occurred to me recently about the Seven of Swords is that whoever is the person who is kind of sneaking or using some sort of unorthodox method of getting their needs met, they are doing it. It's like an act of desperation, but it's one that they've come to feeling as though they don't know what else to do. And I've been meditating on this card a bit lately and just kind of the meanings of it. So we can see it as as a problem solving card, as a problem solving energy. The situation is such that either you or somebody that you know is using some maybe secretive or underhanded means in order to get their needs met. And maybe that's coming from a place of not knowing what else to do. Sometimes these efforts can be pretty futile because ultimately, what the person is trying to accomplish with the Seven of Swords is to, basically rob the soldier camp, right? Like in the original Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, like the person is sneaking off with with 7 swords or 5 swords, but then there's 2 left behind. Like they can't carry them all. And plus, how much of a dent do you think you're going to make in an arsenal of an army by just taking 5 of their weapons? Like, so whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, being that it's of a deceptive nature or just kind of a unorthodox route to take, it may be successful in the short term, but not in the long term. Like, it's definitely a problem solving method, but is it true to your highest and best self? So I think that with part of the 7 of Swords, you're being invited to, if this pertains to you and what you've been doing lately, you can cut yourself some slack around that because it's kind of like, okay, and have compassion, be like, well, I guess I just didn't really know what else to do. Or, get in touch with what your highest and best self is being called to do. Because because with the swords energy as well, just in and of itself, is energy of air, which is the mind and the thoughts. So there could be a part of you that is, driven to, or somebody that either you or someone someone is doing this method, right? The thoughts behind that drive the motivation to behave in this unorthodox way is basically conjured up through some sort of fear, conjured up through some sort of fear as it stands on its own. Okay. So moving on to what we have next is the 6 of Cups. So the 6 of Cups is like a sharing energy, and also like there's a nostalgia there. Sometimes people say that the 6 of Cups will relate to somebody from your past. That's a possibility. So there could be somebody from your past here. Maybe you're discovering that somebody from your past kind of duped you, or maybe you suspect that somebody did, or maybe you duped somebody from your past. This is also referred to as the sibling card as well, because, typically in this card right here, this shows this tree with many colorful roots. So this is basically kind of going back to your roots. What are some of the original values that you had? Because whatever your original value system, how that was created and how that was made, like that is informed by a lot of the feelings that you have about yourself, and a lot of the feelings that you can have about family, and just a lot of feelings that you can have about where you came from, shaping your value system. And these are the values that we share with others. These are the values that we show. So perhaps there was like a sneakiness, and you found that maybe didn't speak to your truest, highest self, you know? Or maybe there's a part of your value system that's like, well, I get mines any which way I can, beg, steal, or borrow, you know, that's how I roll. You be the judge, you know, no judgment, you know, that's just how it is. That's what the cards are looking like so far. So the next is the Son of Wands. And so in this position in the layout that I do, this is like kind of the root. So I'd like to say that this could signify you or a particular person in your life, but this could very well signify you. But the Son of Wands is like is the Knight of Wands in it's the Son of Wands in this deck in the Wild Unknown. But it stands for the Knight of Wands. And so this energy can often be referred to as kind of like the player of the deck. And they are fire of fire. So there's a lot of passion here and there's a lot of drive. But the thing about fire is that it can burn out quickly. So, you know, perhaps this fire of fire, this motivation, this new desire, this new drive, this fiery move forward could have been informed by, you know, the seven of swords back here. You can also be informed, like, what is the relationship between this hot motivation and what you want to share and your value system, and then like a sneakiness. So we'll just continue to read and see how it unfolds. The next one is the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands the Five of Wands is an interesting card. So it stands for conflict, but the funny part is that the conflict is happening it's standing for like group conflict. And it's like each person is bringing a different perspective, and each person is also having a different response to this situation. But that it does denote a conflict of some kind, whether it be light or heavy or what have you. Given that it's the wands, it's probably a shorter term conflict. But either way, after that we have the Fool. So, you know, someone is deciding. I mean, it could appear like definitely more is going to unfold for us, but it appears that maybe someone is like walking away from, or maybe not walking away, but like maybe there's somebody who's like, okay, this is kind of crazy. There's some sneakiness and then there's some conflict. And so I'm just going to start afresh. Like I'm going to start anew. Like I need to leave this cycle behind and start a new cycle. So that's quite possible. But I want to hold it right there because I see that my camera is running out of battery, so I want to plug it in. So let me go grab my plug. I'll be right back. And we'll say, let's see here. guys. This is really silly. Maybe I'll have to whip out some editing software. That's not gonna work, dude. Come on. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. It's kind of silly. Okay. So, whatever the case may be, someone is cruising on to maybe starting a new cycle. Let's see. Okay. So then we have the Five of Swords. So there's like conflict on either side of your initiation, like as far as you initiating a new journey, like you initiating a whole brand new cycle, because you're taking a leap of faith somewhere. You got the Fool card, and so you're gonna be heading out. Looks like you might be leaving something behind here. Even though I don't see the Six of Swords or the Eight of Cups, like that's just the feeling that I get, seeing as kind of the tone that was set for the reading was some sort of kind of, you know, sneakiness, not really knowing what else to do. Then the roots, value system. Maybe you found that whatever situation you were in was not in alignment with your value system and you just needed to start afresh. But either way, there was some, you know, shorter lived conflict preceding your foyer. And then after, maybe the conflict is still ongoing, because there's a Five of Swords right after that. Something that I've learned about the Five of Swords is that there's kind of like no one is really talking to each other, and you know, there's some backstabbing basically. So there's some dishonesty, and that's kind of interesting because here there are the backstabbing is connected with the Seven of Swords. So there was some sort of deception that happened, Leo. There was some sort of deception that had happened. And then after that, we have the Judgment card. So you were definitely being invited to make a judgment call here and really say like, okay, well, what is it that's tied to my values? Like, what's my value system here? Like, how was I raised? Like, you know, what am I living in alignment with my truest and highest self right now? You know, maybe you really do identify yourself as the Knight of Wands. You know, maybe you really see yourself as being a very passionate person and a very direct person, but maybe there was some indirect methods being used and it really challenged how you see yourself. So then after that Judgment, but either way, like with the Judgment, you're being invited to reevaluate, like just kind of really take a good, compassionate and empathic look at yourself and do some reflection and be honest with yourself and just take responsibility for whatever part you played, however big or small, in the situation. It's always, it's like any of the readings that I ever do are never coming from a place of judgment or like you're bad or meow meow meow. Like I just really want to speak the truth of what is being laid before me and not really sugarcoat anything, but just really deliver the message that the cards are saying. If it resonates, you know, take it, but if it doesn't, that's totally okay too. Okay. But the Judgment either way is asking you to have gentleness with yourself, because you see that this dove, this peaceful dove, is rising above this murder of crows on the bottom. Okay? So whatever it is that you are reflecting on, don't use it as fodder to give yourself a hard time and to be unkind to yourself in any way. You know, we were just kind of looking at the whole situation with kindness and empathy is really good. You know, solid judgment, solid assessment, but also kindness and compassionate. Okay. The next, we have the Six of Pentacles, and that is also a sharing energy. Like that is a real, like it's an investment energy and it's a sharing energy, but it's also a fair, generous energy where you're not going to be giving everything up. You're not just like, okay, giving it all up and giving it away. You are definitely staying mindful of yourself and what you need as well, and keeping some for yourself, but also sharing that with others. You know, if there's someone who's wanting to borrow money, or say if there's somebody who's wanting you, or if you want to invest in something, this is that energy. You know, maybe, you know, it's after your judgment of the situation, you then choose wisely, choose more wisely on where to deposit your energy, and where to deposit your plans, and where and what kind of seeds are you going to plant. So I think this is good medicine here. After that, you have the Father of Wands. So, you know, there is this energy is coming in as another fiery energy. You have the Son of Wands and the Father of Wands. Maybe you're dealing with a parental type figure, but either way, there is this, it could be seen also as an evolution of yourself. There was a part of you that felt more like not a complete newbie, but still there was some maturation that needed to happen. And through this process of walking away and starting anew, like closing out the cycle and starting a new cycle, and then coming out of the conflict, there was some judgment, some self-reflection, and then learning and seeing where you wanted to, how you best wanted to invest yourself, and what you wanted to share. Then you're evolving. So this could also be a more evolved version of yourself, which is the Father of Wands, which stands for the King of Wands. Okay, the King of Wands gets stuff done. You know, they're really driven, and they've gone along the path to where they have endeavored, and they see what they've also learned along the way, like what works and what doesn't work. So I think with this judgment and self-reflection, that's the kind of stuff that would help you evolve into someone who is going to be making best and higher choices for your goals that you want to set. So that could be the energy here, an evolution of you and your process. Or it could also be just another kind of mentor or another kind of figure in your life that does have a little bit more wisdom with regard to investing, or a little bit more wisdom with regard to how to get your needs met, how to get things done. Okay, so then we have the Sun card, which is the best card in the deck. So it looks like things have turned around, coming away from some conflict. Right on. Wow, this is fantastic. This is really good energy. whatever you decided to do with your brand new cycle and your brand new, like, I'm going, I'm taking the fool's journey, I'm kind of starting off a whole new. I see this as a leveling up. I see this as a leveling up. It would appear it was a leveling up. Because then you went into the Sun card energy, which is fantastic. It's like the best card in the deck. It's like good vibes, good job, many happy returns, just all kinds of good stuff coming your way. And I would imagine that maybe that led to a brand new relationship. This could either be like, this is basically emotional fulfillment. So, you know, the car, the Sun right next to the Ten of Cups is like, it doesn't get any more positive than that. It does not get any more positive than that. That is fantastic. You know, I wonder if somebody was being really sneaky with you, and then you actually like did some reflection and got, you know, maybe you even went to go spend some time with family. To those who know you and love you best and are very close with you and can speak to, can help affirm to you and validate your value system and like what is really important to you. And yeah, and then maybe you then there was like an evolution and a whole brand new choice being made. Yeah, this is really good. Whatever the decision that you made was, definitely took you away from some funky conflict, helped you level up, and right after you leveled up, you're like hitting the jackpot. So it was a really good decision to you know, not to be done with whatever deceptive energy was behind you. Okay, so now we have the Seven of Wands, which the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Wands, I get mixed up sometimes with the Six of Wands. I think the Six of Wands is like the recognition card, like the high praise, the kind of the fame card. And then the Seven of Wands could be more of like, you know, maybe there's like some boundaries. Maybe given this brand new energy, you want to protect it. You know, you've come a long way and you want to protect yourself. You want to protect your investments. You want to protect the new person that you're becoming. And you also want to protect the rewards that you have garnered in the very near past, you know. You want to protect. So I believe the Seven of Wands is like about boundaries. Okay, so then we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Wands. So the Wheel of Fortune is something that is like, I really just, it's basically the karmic wheel, you know? And it would appear to me through this trajectory, just this process of this reading, that you really wanted to turn your attention and your motivation towards building better karma, you know, and just not just by what you were doing and how you were living, but like by surrounding yourself with others, with communities that also reap and sow good karma. Because the Wheel of Fortune is like, it's kind of the luck. You're creating your own luck, so your own karma. Basically, what you give is what you get, and everything comes back around. And it's also inviting you to embrace the energy of going with the flow of things. You don't really have to try to grip it and rip it. Like if you have the Wheel of Fortune, then you're being divinely guided, and you ride the Ferris wheel of life. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, but it's all good, because right now you're up. You're up, or at least you have an up coming in your future. And then, then you get this Three of Wands, which is interesting because the Three of Wands is like waiting for your ship to come in, or like waiting for the perfect moment for something. And so I'm wondering what that might be. Like, you would know what that is. But I mean, to me, it can also mean an integration. Like, the Three of Wands can also be an integration, because it's like the integration of like the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And so then you have the third, right? The third kind of energy. Like it's like an integrated self. And that's the other thing, is like, you have what it takes. You don't have to wait for your ship to come in, or wait for any kind of right, perfect moment or precise timing. You can just do it, whatever it is, because you're integrated. You've learned things along your path. You've learned things in your previous karmic cycle, and you turned your karma around, whether that was surrounding yourself with people that aren't deceptive and funky, or you yourself doing a lot of self-reflection and then saying, well, I'm going to turn over a new leaf. I'm going to have compassion for myself, and I'm going to get right. Whatever it was, you turned your karma around. So you don't need to wait for anything. You have what it takes. Yeah, because you got the world. The world is your oyster. And you just kind of completing another karmic cycle. Like, this is kind of trippy. Like, you'll definitely know more about what this means, but there was some sort of conflict back here. You decided to go, to take a new risk, to go on a new adventure. You leveled up. You reaped some very wonderful rewards after getting very clear about what you were bringing to the table. Then you set up appropriate boundaries for it and decided to live in the moment and go with the flow of things. And then you came out from on the other side. So you leveled up. You leveled up big time. You leveled up big time. So looking at this, you start off with the little chickie, the little fool, and then, through this decision to take a leap of faith and to move forward, you leveled up to the King of Wands, person who knows how to get stuff done, set good boundaries, recognized your own integration, and came to kind of completing another karmic cycle. Over here, there was some deception, whether it was from you or another person. There was fighting, but then there was definitely some payoff, some good times with the Sun, and then the Wheel of Fortune, which the Wheel of Fortune is tied to the Sun and the Ten of Cups here. So it's just kind of like you being divinely guided along your journey. You've been divinely guided along your journey because you have integrated the lessons that you've learned. There was an integration happening here. A lot of good reflection, rising above the murder of crows. Maybe you left a group. Maybe there was a group of people that you left, because there's some group conflict over here. Some group conflict over here, conflicting ideas and motivations, conflicting ideas and also conflicting methods upon which to see those ideas out. Wow. This is really interesting. It's a little like the Aries reading, Leo, because there was some collaboration, there was some stuff. There was a group. There was a group in that one as well. All right. Wow. This is powerful. So let's go ahead and pick an oracle card for you. So this is like, this is really good because it seems like whatever path you were on wasn't serving you. So you decided to start a new journey, and then you just like leveled up and you got a lot of good rewards. And rewards that weren't just like superficially gained, like rewards that were like karmically gained. Like you earned these things based on the virtue of the good decisions and bringing your highest and best self to the table, because you got back in touch with your core values, you know, and did some self-assessment and realizing how you wanted to live, what you wanted to bring. And that's all we can ever do, right? Bring our highest and best self, live a good life, be a good person, you know. And that includes, like, you can be a good person, but none of that really matters if you're surrounding yourself with some funky people. So this one was a jumper, so I'm just going to take it. Or there was two. Boom. Let's see. Double the bonus. Little. Listening for truth. Yes. And softly, softly, the tender touch. So it would appear that, you know, this, honestly, based on these two oracle cards that have come out, they really sound like they supplement the reading quite well, because just at its base, like listening for truth really reminds me of the process that you went through right here with the Six of Cups, like getting to your roots, and like the Judgment. And then softly, softly, the tender touch. I really do think that this stands for like the compassion that you've had for yourself, and maybe even for others in this situation, of like leaving this conflict behind and leveling up. You know, there's the Son of Wands and the Father of Wands, which are very powerful, fiery energies, but strength also comes in being vulnerable as well, and being honest and compassionate and empathic. So I'm just going to read a little bit for these two. I don't know if I'm going to do the full read, but I think I'll get the gist for us. Listening for truth. All right. Truth speaks to us constantly, but not always in words, Leo. In experiences, it would appear, huh? Because there's some mystery here with that Seven of Swords. Okay. It may communicate through a feeling that is hard to put into words, but brings an inexplicable sense of peace, trust, and the knowledge that somehow everything is going to work out perfectly, even if there is little evidence of how it is all going to happen. Taking a leap of faith. You are being asked to listen for the truths beneath the words rather than the superficial message of the words themselves. This is especially true for the communications of those around you, the press, the newspapers, and the mass media. You will begin to hear fear in the words and actions of those around you, even as they preach love. Listen deeper. Listen for the truth. This oracle comes with a message of truth for you. You are hearing something that is not being said, and what you are hearing is truthful. You may feel as though you are the only one that is really ready to hear or see it. Perhaps you have been working in a situation or loving in a relationship where truth is consistently denied. Dishonesty. We live in a world where truth is frequently avoided out of fear of what it might reveal. At the basis of such actions, consciously or not, is a deep sense of unhealed toxic shame. If you or someone else is fearful that the truth will expose rather than free and heal, then some personal healing is required. It is time for letting go of old wounds in favor of a greater sense of self-love and acceptance. You're being asked to love yourself enough to honor the truth, even if you feel you are the only one doing so. Wow. Sacred rebels need truth like lungs need oxygen. Truth keeps the energy of life flowing through the rebellious heart. Lies dampen the spirit of the sacred rebel. Even if those with less awakened hearts fear the truth, you must not turn away from it, Leo. Don't resent the state of affairs. Perhaps your job is to show that truth can be witnessed, even when many may want to hide from it. What others do is always their choice, but through your honorable deeds done with integrity, you will be set free, no matter what the outcome. This oracle brings you guidance. If you have been worn down and depressed by the lies, gossip, deceit, or backstabbing going on around you, don't fret. Get out in nature and spend some time communing with the infinite. Healing will come to you now, no matter how many times, in how many ways, or by how many tongues untruth is spoken. You know what you know in your sacred rebellious heart. That truth is your connection to the living truth of life itself. Don't give up. Just open up to healing and know that the truth always eventually prevails. Wow, this is speaking right to this reading and right to this process of having come out of some stuff. So here's a healing process. Place your hand very lightly at the front and back of your throat and say, I now release all vows of silence I have ever made, consciously or not. I now release all lies, deception, and painful words, spoken or unspoken, that are affecting my ability to clearly know and speak my truth. I am held in unconditional love with protection and grace. So be it. You have finished your healing process. You might like to say something true just to anchor it, like, within me, beyond all that rises and falls, only truth remains. Yeah, this is really good. I really love how these are just like very, like these oracle cards have been supplementing the reading, like, and really kind of reflecting the reading so much more. It's been really, really something. So let's go ahead and read Softly, Softly, the Tender Touch. Okay, softly, softly, the tender touch. The feminine wisdom of gentleness can assist you now. When we are at a point in life where we want to attain greater things but don't necessarily have a proportionally greater supply of energy at our disposal, it is time to work smarter rather than harder. This is the way of feminine wisdom. Excuse me. Okay. There's an old story that the sun and the wind were debating about who was more powerful. After boasting about their prowess, they made a wager. A man walked down the street with a coat on. The wind and the sun decided that whomever could force the coat off the man was the most powerful. The wind began demonstrating its impressive power. It blew and caught underneath the coat, pulling it and nearly ripping it right off the man. But the man wrapped his coat around himself more tightly to protect himself against the force of the wind. Eventually, perhaps temporarily out of puff, the wind gave up. The sun took over. He shone down, becoming brighter and brighter until the man slipped off his coat, slung it over his shoulder, and walked down the street, quite possibly wondering what was happening with the weather that day. The wind attempted to do by force what the sun was able to do by being. You are being asked to surrender your forcefulness, your determination, and your intense activity, even if it is just for this moment. Which reminds me of this little gentle little chick, a gentle little baby chick, its little downy little feathers. You are being asked to surrender your forcefulness, your determination, and your intense activity, even if it is just for this moment. Does this mean that you have to surrender the goals that you are chasing through those endeavors? Certainly not. This is not about letting go of achievement. It is about understanding the process of manifestation in a more intelligent way. There is a way of creating that gives you energy and doesn't leave you utterly worn out. It is about allowing what you want to come to you. Be yourself absolutely, naturally, and with ease. Shine your light and allow your presence to invite that which you wish to receive. It is just cultivating an energetic affinity with what you seek rather than feeling of lack and need. Do you see the subtle but important difference? To feel that you are already a naturally abundant being who gratefully invites more of what you want into your life is rather different to feeling lack, fear, and wishing your world would change. It is a bit like dressing for the job you want, even if it is not yet the job you have. You energetically embody what you wish to attract more into your life. Like attracts like. This oracle brings you a message. You don't need to push quite so hard to receive what is naturally coming to you. Excuse me. Your push comes from a place of uncertainty over whether or not you will succeed. You need to relax and have more faith in yourself. Oh my gosh, I'm having all kinds of physiological experiences right now. Okay. You need to relax and have more faith in yourself. All things come in time, rightfully and according to a great, loving wisdom. You are not immune to this. You shall have your time and shine too. Rebel against any voice of fear within you or around you that tells you otherwise. Okay, now the healing process. Say aloud, I shine like the sun. This is totally for you, huh, Leo? This is really for you. You shine like the sun. I shine like the sun, radiant with grace, and all that I desire comes to me according to perfect timing. I relax, believe, and receive through unconditional love. This is now so. That's really good. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight, Leo. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading for the month of May. It looks like some incredibly amazing leveling up here, but you're a Leo, so you completely got this. And yeah, so thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Okay, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Okay, bye-bye.